Hi, my name's Jenny McLachlan and I write books for children just like you. In this Roarsome Writing Club video, I'm going to explain how I make the characters in my books come alive by adding delicious details to my descriptions about them. Then I'm going to set you the challenge of creating a dragon and using delicious details to describe it to make it special and memorable. Hang on, how can a detail be delicious? Well, I want you to imagine two cakes. One of the cakes is a square of yellow sponge. The other cake is shaped like a dolphin and packed so full of jam and cream it's oozing down the sides. Plus, the cake is covered in swirls of rainbow icing. Hundreds and thousands are scattered all over it, along with cherries, Smarties and tiny pillowy marshmallows, which look like clouds dotted across a sky of rainbow sugar. Which cake would you rather eat? You see, when you add precise, vivid details to your descriptions of characters, the reader is really able to picture what they're like. In fact, if you get it right, the reader should be able to imagine that character walking into the room and talking to them. I'm going to show you how I do this by reading one of the descriptions of Bones, the pirate ghost in Dead Good Detectives. Listen carefully and see if you can spot any of the delicious details I've used. Lying in a pile of seaweed with his arms and legs flung out wide is a pirate. He looks like he's been dumped there by a wave. He has shaggy hair and a huge beard with bits of green tangled in it. A tricorn hat rests on his stomach and his cracked leather coat is spread out like wings. His clothes are soaking wet, scars crisscross his face and his skin is brown from the sun. A single glittering diamond dangles from his right ear. It sparkles like the sea. Hopefully, you can imagine Bones so clearly from that description that you felt like you were standing on the windy beach looking down at him. Now it's your turn to create a brand new character. I'm setting you the challenge of inventing a dragon. I'd like you to add lots of delicious details to your description of a dragon. But before you get going, I want you to decide what your dragon's personality is going to be like. This is a secret that you're not actually going to tell the reader. Instead, you're going to hint at it and reveal it through the words you choose to describe it. You see, readers love working stuff out for themselves. So don't tell them at the start that your dragon is terrifying or sweet or shy or lazy. Let them work it out by looking at the words you've chosen. Take a few minutes now to have a think about the different personality traits your dragon could have. And remember, right now we're talking about the personality of the dragon, not their appearance. Here are some words to get you started. Kind, gentle, cruel, wild, cheeky. Can you think of any more? If you get stuck, think about people you know. How would you describe their personalities? You could do a dragon version of your granddad or your little sister. Now choose one or two of these words and write them on your piece of paper. That's so you keep them in your mind when you're writing your description. You could draw a heart on your piece of paper and put the words inside it because they are going to be at the very heart of your dragon description. I'm actually going to do two dragons because I like writing, and you can as well if you like. One's going to be shy and gentle and the other one is going to be clever and cruel. Now I'd like you to answer these questions about your dragon. What are your dragon's eyes like? What do its scales look like? What does it smell of? When it breathes, what comes out of its mouth? Fire, sweets, storm clouds? Of course, there are loads of other questions you can ask about your dragon. What are its talons like? Its teeth, its tail? You could draw a picture of your dragon and label it if you like, or use the template I've made. There's a link below. But the most important thing you need to remember is to add very precise, delicious details. If you say your dragon's eyes are blue, then what kind of blue are they? Are they the same blue as the sky on a stormy day, or a swimming pool, or an energy drink, or a blue Smartie? As you're writing, you might find that you use interesting adjectives or nouns or similes, but don't worry about trying to use these things. Just pick words and phrases that paint a clear picture in your mind. Right, are you ready? Let's go. How did you get on? Did you start to feel like your dragon was real? Could you imagine finding it, perhaps curled up at the back of a cave or lurking in a forest? Isn't it amazing? A while ago your dragon didn't exist, but you've brought it to life with nothing more than some delicious details. You're a magician, but instead of using a wand, you used a pen. Here are 2 descriptions that I wrote that I quite like. I said that my shy and gentle dragon has scales that were soft like a baby's fingernails, and that the clever and cruel dragon's scales were crusty and scorched like the inside of a volcano. I think they hint at the secret message I'm trying to share about the personalities of the dragons. Why don't you share your favourite delicious descriptions with each other? Now, if you'd like to bring your dragon to life even more, here are a few things you can do. Draw a map of where it lives and then draw its home. Maybe it lives in a cave or a castle, or perhaps your dragon lives at the bottom of the sea. Or you could write a 100-word story, a mini saga, where you describe what happens when you meet your dragon. Writing mini sagas is how I actually began writing. I found 100 words was the perfect length to tell a story. I hope you enjoyed creating your dragons. Make sure you give them a name, and if you like, join me for one of my other Roarsome Writing Club videos so you can keep letting your imaginations run wild.